28. Garrett Alberson out front for 19 laps this evening, and Dale McDowell led 8. Post-race press conference is about to get underway from the media center in the infield, and with that, we'll send it down to the media center and to our very own Michael Rigsby.
DJ, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Welcome to our post-race coverage of the 54th Annual World 100 inside the Eldora Media Center in the infield. We've got Bobby Pierce, your 54th Annual World 100 winner, Jonathan Davenport on Dale McDowell on either side of him. Bobby, I want to start with you. I think one of the things that Ben touched on with you that was really important was you won this race 8 years ago, right? And it's funny to say anything in your career is a drought, but you think you're going to click these off maybe as the guy to your right has. Were you starting to wonder at all, and grab your mic there for me if you could, all of you guys, is it going to happen again? Were you starting to wonder a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I was starting to think, when he retires and him, maybe I'll win again. But yeah, it's crazy. At the Dream we were not too far back, but I felt like as this weekend went on, we were missing a little bit. And every year it takes so much to get that opportunity to be in that spot. And we started third tonight. It's what I was saying all weekend that I wanted was track position. I wanted that first couple row starting spot because I think I've been mid-pack for the last so many years now, and it's not bad. You can get up there. It's just you're burning your stuff up to get there. It's just easier starting up front. You have way more control. So getting that starting position was key. And way back then in 2016, it was different. The cars were so different back then. This world compared to that world, they're not even similar. So it's kind of cool now that we won it kind of both. I don't know what you want to say. It's not generations because they're not that far off. We're not talking 1980, but no, we're not. I'm not that old.
Wait a minute.
But they were pretty different back then. That was in the Pierce car, and this is in the Longhorn, and just things have changed a lot. This track's changed a lot, and you look at all the competitors that come here that haven't won this thing yet, that are top-notch guys, and they've won about everything except for this, and it takes so much, as the weekend goes on. It's just so much just to make the race, and then to win it is crazy.
One more for you before I ask Dale a question. Were you pissed off? I think I heard you say I was seeing red, which to me means I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
Jonathan, you said Jonathan Davenport passes you on the bottom, lights out. There was literally people leaving. When Jonathan took the lead, there was 10 to 12 people in the grandstand that got up and left because they thought the race was over. How pissed off were you, and how angry were you, and what does seeing red mean for Bobby Pierce?
Yeah. Well, to the people that left, I thought it was over as well. So there's that. But yeah, it kind of is like the PDC this year. Although I wasn't in the lead yet when I spun out, but I was like, there went my chance at winning. And when Dale passed me and then I dipped down to 3 and 4 and noticed it was taking rubber there, I was like, well, I messed that up. But at the time, I don't think the camera was showing us at all, because we can look at that TV, in turn 2. And when he passed me there, it was I definitely thought it was over. And not too many times does Dale pass you and you get the opportunity to have the racetrack good enough to drive back around him, especially when it took rubber. So I just sent it off in there. It was kind of more of a wreckers or checkers type thing. If I hit the wall and knock the front end out, so be it. If I follow the race, it is what it is. I'm here to win the race, not finish second. So luckily, we just had enough speed to get back around and got back in that rubber in 3 and 4. When you hit the rubber when you're in the lead, it's the best feeling ever.
Dale, 2 questions for you. Obviously, the situation surrounding Scott Bloomquist this weekend, I think I and myself and everybody wouldn't be lying if we thought, boy, there's some magic in the Eldora air here. Here comes 17M on the bottom. With all due respect to both of you guys, here he comes in the Bloomquist car. This is going to happen. There's some Field of Dreams stuff going on here tonight. Were you thinking and feeling that yourself in the car?
No, not really. I mean, it would be neat. Obviously, all weekend we've thought, with everything going on, it would be great. Great for us, but even more great for the family, for the Bloomquist family, for Ron and Georgie, Ariel, just everything that they're going through is much more than what we're trying to do here. But But it was. I mean, we had a good race car, pretty good race car all week, and Shane's been working his tail off on it, and so Jonathan come over before the race and asked me how long it had been since I started that part of the front, and I told him a long time. But I didn't when Bobby went around me and Jonathan went around me. I figured it was done with these two up there. It's strange because I've watched these two over the years that they used to race, and they didn't have much finesse. I mean, Bobby was aggressive, and Jonathan, and now they do such a good job, at maneuvering and stuff. And so it was fun to race with them. We had a fun race. Nobody run over anybody or anything, but it was. I told people earlier that I feel different when I get in the car because I appreciate what Scott's done. That was, that's a self-designed piece with his. Now, my brother Shane has went through that thing from one end to the other, and they've worked together for the last 7 or 8 years, but it would have been special, but it just wasn't meant to be.
The conjecture on social media is lap cars cost Dale McDowell the race. Get the hell out of the way, lap cars that cost Dale McDowell the race. I'd like your opinion on the lap cars at the end.
No, they're racing. They're racing. They don't know. They don't know where you're at. They're running their own race. So, Bobby picked a lane around the top. I tried that lane up there, and our cars just, when you get up there, they're a little tight to run. Scott runs around, he's run around the middle for years and years, and so that's kind of where they're happy. I moved up and pushed really, really bad, and so I knew I had to kind of get back down and try to keep my right front in it, or my left front especially in it, to turn. And but there was 2 lanes of it. That was what was strange. There was 2 lanes of it. Those guys could run a complete different lane than I could, and but it wasn't anybody's fault. It's just a matter of circumstances, and it just is what it is.
A few more before I open up to the floor. Jonathan, I think a lot of people were surprised when you didn't win. Have you reached the point in your Eldora career when, wow, I didn't win at Eldora, I'm surprised I didn't win at Eldora? Are we at that point?
No, it's so hard to win here. That's what I keep saying it every time we come back and we talk about this. Like, it takes the whole weekend. It takes everything that's got to be just perfect. And it wasn't perfect for me tonight. These guys done a great job, and I gave it my best, but it just wasn't good enough.
Can you assess watching him race a little bit? I think pure talent-wise, I think the 3 of you
How
are.
much time we got?
Yeah.
I'll get to you, and then I do want to open it up to the floor. But Jonathan, I tweeted out earlier. I think it's Scott Belly at 49. I think you're the top 3 all time right now. I think this kid will close fast, right? Assess watching him race and be able to kind of find a gear that not a lot of guys can find. I just would like your opinion on that. Bobby, I'm speaking of, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Back, 10 years ago, I always thought I had that extra gear, and now it's like he's went above and beyond that for sure. Just the way he can run around the cushion, and now he's like got better finessing and calmed down a little bit, and like he's just getting better and better each lap, and like it's no drag to him, but he's just that good. When there's a little bit of a lip around there, there ain't hardly anybody in the country. I can maybe name 1 or 2 that can even stay on the same straightaway with him. So he does an excellent job for sure. And when he's got to get off of it, he can run through the middle and through the bottom and everything else. He's just doing an excellent job for sure. And ever since he got in a Longhorn, I think we've even created more of a monster.
Anybody in the crowd? Rhonda, anybody else have questions? You want to take this mic, Rhonda? Come over here and take this mic real quick.
Yeah, hey, there were several guys. It was their first time making the World 100. Do you know how many there were? Like Ross Bales. Yeah. Do any of you have like a memory of that first time and how you felt about it, and just any advice to somebody like tonight?
You go win it.
Me?
You go win it.
Yeah, so my first time making the world was my first world. Went way better than the dream, because the first time I raced here was the dream in 2013, because I was 16 years old then. That's when you could race here. And the dream, I knocked the wall down qualifying, broke the J-bar and the drive shaft and everything in the car. And by the end of the weekend, I kind of learned to run the top. And then when we came back for the world, I sat on the pole and led some laps and ended up finishing 4th. And me and Scott were throwing sliders, and I was throwing sliders on Scott, trying to get by. Scott wasn't throwing sliders.
He was just waving you on by.
Yeah. But Scott finished 3rd, I finished 4th, and yeah, that was a good experience there.
Dale, do you remember your first world?
No. No, I remember I said today during that thing, first time I came here was 94 for the World 100, driving for Scott. That was the first time I came. But I don't remember when I was way older. What did you say those years were in your age? So I was way older. I can't remember. First World was 13? Good gosh, 2013. So I was here in 94 for my first one, and then I started coming back, and it was a while before I could make some of them, but we'd end up making them. And this place is different. This place, these guys, especially Jonathan, watching them, and when I'm not in a heat race or something, I'm down in the corners watching. This place, you got to drive it different, and you have to study how to drive this place. You can't go anywhere and test. I don't feel like for this place. And these guys have just worked on their program and studied, and driving skills are, unbelievable.
Real quick, last one for all three of you. Largest crowd in the history of Eldora Speedway tonight, and it was sizably the largest crowd. I think Scott's service obviously had something to do with that, but just JD, then Bobby, then you. The spectacle of Eldora. I call it theater. To me, Eldora is the perfect theater, right? It is like watching a drama. It's all of it wrapped into one. Just discuss that energy and racing in front of that crowd and how this thing just continues to not disappoint year after year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just rolling around there 4 wide, everybody's got their phones out. It's like it's just a complete light show going around through there. I try to block it out as much as possible, but you can feel the energy in the crowd. And I don't know if you can hear them in the car, but dang sure it seems like you can sometimes. It's just a massive crowd, and every one of them's diehard race fans.
Bobby?
Yeah, as I said in Victory Lane, the fans make this place what it is. Back when we raced here with no fans, it was like not as cool, not nearly as cool. And like he said, you try to kind of block it out some, and and then when you're leading the race, like the biggest race, you're just thinking to yourself, man, just block it all out, just pretend it's another race. But it's hard because the electricity in the air here is just crazy.
Dale, finally for you with that one.
Well, I like Jonathan, I come around there, all those lights, all the phone lights was amazing, and just seeing all the people, and we were talking on the front straightaway. I talked to Tony a little bit, and he said record crowd, obviously, and he said someone told him, or someone had told me that they'd quit selling pit passes.
That's how many people were here.
And, so I told Tony there a minute ago, I was like, man, if I was promoting this, I'd have been telling those drivers, y'all just slow down. I'm going to sell some more pit passes. but it's unbelievable how much support and how prestigious this race is, and so to win this thing is awesome, and, and to be a part of it, just to, when you make your first one, this race is just a huge spectacle in our sport. And, so to be able to compete and do well here is huge to our credit to our success. It just puts a check in something that you've done and succeeded in. So unbelievable.
Guys, thank you so much. That wraps up the post-race press conference inside the Infield Media Center at Eldora. Congrats to Bobby Pierce. Randy Weaver and I will be back to wrap up our coverage of the 54th Annual World 100.